The ultimate matte paint protection tutorial. By watching this video, you guys are going to become matte paint experts. We're covering 4 topics. So what is matte paint, how to wash it, how to protect it, and how to maintain it. So what's up guys, welcome to another episode of Pan the Organizer, where you guys learn everything related to car detailing, all the products, equipment, tips, tricks, and techniques. So for today's demo, we have a beautiful 2022 Mercedes AMG GT53 with a 4-liter V8 engine. The sticker price is over 100,000 USD in its current spec, and of course it has a matte finish. It looks absolutely stunning. However, currently it's very, very dirty, so it's the owner's daily driver. And well, he brought it in for the total Pan the Organizer treatment. So what we'll be doing today is going through all the steps and motions of what needs to be done to first of all clean, then enhance the surfaces, protect them, and make sure I give you all the tips and tricks on how you can maintain the finish. But to better understand what is a matte paint, first of all, the correct term, if I'm not mistaken, is actually a matte finish paint job, but for the purposes of this video, to keep everything light, we're going to call it just a matte paint, right? So first of all, the base layers of a traditional paint on a car, if we keep it, of course, easy to understand, is traditionally you have the base coat. Well, first of all, the primer, obviously, that's the first layer. The base coat, which is the color coat, and then you have a clear coat. That's usually the glossy part that fills in the hills and valleys, makes it as flat as possible, and gives it that shiny, glossy appearance. Now, in the case of a matte finish paint job, the difference is it still has that clear coat at the end, but there's a difference in the way the clear coat cures and dries on the surface. So it kind of gives it a unique surface texture, which leads to kind of jagged edges right on top of the surface, and hence there's less light reflection, and hence you're getting that kind of dull sheen look that is well known for on a matte finish paint job. So you still have a clear coat on the surface. It's not glossy because that texture is very different. And if you run your fingers on a matte paint job, you're going to see it's a bit more grabby. It feels more kind of a satin feel and not that super slick like a traditional glossy clear coat. So what are the major differences as far as cleaning goes? First of all, do not use any products with any waxes or silicones or glossing agents inside them, because obviously the purpose is you do not want to make the surface glossy. So there's a bunch of products that I have here behind me that I'm going to go over today, because what we're doing is not only cleaning the entire vehicle and the wheels as well, which are also in a matte finish, but we're going to protect the surfaces, so the wheels and the paintwork, of course, which are matte. So we're going to be applying the new Geon matte Evo ceramic coating. So this is a coating for matte surfaces. By the way, everything I talk about in this video is not only for matte paint, but also for matte PPF, some matte vinyl wraps as well, and even for powder coated wheels, if you have them, this still applies. So this one here is the new iteration. So the Evo line is new for 2022 by Geon. It's more user friendly, and you can also use these outside. Of course, do not work in direct sunlight, work on cool surfaces as always, so work in the shade. But they're much more user-friendly, and the application is very, very simple. It's going to give you up to 2 years of protection, or 24 months. So give it that UV protection, the water beading, the water sheeting, the self-cleaning properties, meaning the vehicle is going to be a lot easier to clean during maintenance washes. And no, it's not going to give a glossy appearance. So that's the difference with matte protection products. What it will do though, and the major thing you're going to notice, it gives a deeper, richer, darker tone to whatever you're applying it to. So it doesn't mean it makes the paint dark in the sense that it's going to change the color. It's just going to give a different aspect, and you're going to see in the video I'm going to give a 50-50 shot of the hood because I just finished detailing this vehicle. I worked on it all day long, and you're going to see the difference when I say it makes the finish look richer. You're going to see the difference, so it looks a lot better when you apply this type of coating. But before you get to the application of this stuff, well, there's a bunch of prep steps that we're going to go over, right? We're going to start by foaming the vehicle. What we're going to do, it's important when you have especially a matte finish paint job to do a proper degreasing of the surface. So we're going to start with an alkaline pre-wash snow foam inside the foam cannon. So in this case, CarPro Lift diluted 10 parts of water to 1 part of product in a foam cannon. Basically in the container, that's 2 ounces of CarPro Lift with 20 ounces of water for a total 22-ounce solution. Spray it on the vehicle, let it dwell a few minutes. Do not let it dry on the surface. So this is a higher alkaline pH. If you look at the stats, they don't mention it on the bottle itself, but it's anywhere from pH 10 to pH 12, depending on where you get the information. But basically, it's going to help to break down a bit of that traffic film, degrease the surface. You rinse that off. And after that, I went ahead and cleaned the wheels. Now, for the satin wheels, it's important to use something, again, that has no glossing agents, that is very delicate for the surfaces that you're using them for. So I tried this new stuff from Dr. Beasley's. So first time that I try the Dr. Beasley's lineup of products, we have a bunch of them that I'll be talking about here. So this is the Matte Wheel Cleanser. And it's very, very gentle, but it's going to get rid of the, get rid of dirt, debris, loose brake dust, and other contaminants as well. So you're going to spray this on, you're going to let it dwell on the surface, and then you go ahead with your typical brushes or for the inside of the barrel, or a clean and microfiber towel or a microfiber wash mitt like I used for the surface. So always keep in mind to try to be as gentle as you can, because one thing that needs to be known on matte paint finishes is there's no polishing possible. So you don't want to scratch the surface. If you get deep scratches, you cannot polish, because obviously polishing is flattening the surface. You're going to make it reflective and you're going to lose that matte appearance. So if you get into an accident or you have some deep, heavy scratches or gouges, you're going to have to go see a paint expert, and the panel needs to be repainted professionally, and it's a more complicated process. So definitely owning a matte vehicle, especially a matte finish paint job, is something you have to be aware of. So it gets a bit more complicated. So do not apply any waxes, silicones, that kind of stuff. No glossing agents, no polishing the paint. You're not going to clay the surface either. Don't forget the clay bar is an abrasive. So you can potentially scratch the finish a bit too much. If you do have a bit of contamination and you want to use a light duty clay bar, you be very, very careful. Test on an inconspicuous area first, but normally use the chemicals for decontamination. So the Matte Wheel Cleanser to clean the wheels. I also used CarPro Retire on the rubber to get rid of that dealer installed or dealer applied greasy looking tire dressing that is disgusting. We're going to apply a proper tire coating at the end. And basically the wheels are going to be clean. You rinse those off. And now it's time to wash the paintwork. Now for the paintwork, you have a few choices. Dr. Beasley's makes their own matte body wash. Basically what you want is something that's appropriate for use on matte finishes, right? So you do not want, again, no gloss enhancers, no silicones, a wax-free shampoo. Try to have it gentle or pH neutral, of course, if possible. For the purposes of this video, I use something that's dual purpose, because you can use it on traditional clear coats, but also on matte paints, because again, there's no gloss enhancers, it's just a pure shampoo. So it's going to be Geon Bathe. So this one here, basically about an ounce in 4 gallons of water is what you need, or 30 mils into a 15-liter bucket if you're in Europe for the conversion. So yeah, it's going to give nice suds, good degreasing properties as well, and it's going to get the paint clean without any gloss. So this is a pure shampoo, kind of like CarPro Reset is as well for those who have that. So then you're going to hand wash the entire vehicle. Use a microfiber wash mitt. Again, be very gentle. Don't force, don't put too much pressure on the surface. You don't want to be polishing the surface by mechanical abrasion, right? Matte paint finishes, you got to be very careful. Then you're going to do some chemical decontamination. So if you have any tar deposits, those black tar dots, or maybe a bit of adhesive from glue or from a sticker or something like that, and you want to remove that, use a tar remover. So they have Geon tar, and there's absolutely no problem to use chemical decontamination on matte paint. Then you move on to the iron removing stage using an iron remover. In this case, I used Geon iron, because the vehicle, well, AMGs have very powerful brakes. In this case, it's traditional iron rotors or steel rotors that generate tons of brake dust. And so we want to remove all the iron contamination, the brake dust contamination, and industrial fallout that's on the paintwork that's embedded inside the clear coat. We're going to remove that with this. So you spray this on, you let it dwell a few minutes. Don't let it dry on the surface. I agitate lightly with a microfiber wash mitt to make sure I cover all the areas. It's hard to see, of course, on a black paint, the bleeding or the color change, but if you could look on the floor, hopefully you saw in the video, you saw that purple that was just dripping off. Well, that's the chemical that is changing color because it has that reaction and it indicates that it's doing its job. So then you thoroughly rinse the entire vehicle. And we're going to dry it. We're going to use a microfiber drying towel in this case, so very, very gentle on the surface. Again, you don't want to potentially scratch the surface. You want to be very, very careful. Get everything dry, especially before you apply a ceramic coating. I also use a car dryer, so my big boy blower R. So it's filtered hot, dry air that I get the water out of all the nooks and crannies, such as the grills, the headlights, the taillights, the mirrors, the door handles, door sills, door jambs, all those kinds of things. You don't want any standing water, or you can wait until the next day if you don't have a blower to make sure, or use a microfiber towel in all the nooks and crannies that you can. Get the car dry. You don't want it dripping water when you're applying a ceramic coating. Now, the next step and final step before we apply the coating is to make sure that the surface is fully cleaned, and if there's any residual older waxes or paint sealants that could potentially still be there, or any fingerprint smudges, light dust, or just some degreasing properties, you're going to use an isopropyl alcohol mix or a paint prep, and in this case, Geon prep. So this is fine to use on matte paint finishes. You basically spray this on. You're going to wipe using a microfiber towel. Talking about microfiber towels for the purpose of this video, and by the way, quick disclaimer, this is not a sponsored video. Nobody paid for this video. I ordered all of these products myself. You probably saw it if it's out already on my channel. My mega unboxing or product haul 3.0, 70 products, massive, massive product haul. Let me know, by the way, if you watched that video, which products you want me to review in the future, because I'm testing some new stuff. So what I used for the paint prep was the polish wipe microfiber towel from Geon. So basically you want to use towels that won't lint. You don't want to leave any fibers or lint on the surface. So this is what it looks like. It's dual-sided. So on one side, the thicker, plusher side, and on the other side, a more matted down or lower nap type towel. So this one here does not leave any linting behind. Always wash your microfiber towels before the first use, by the way. So now the paint is fully washed. It's fully decontaminated. We also did the paint prep, so it's ready to go. Now, if you're working inside like me, I work in a controlled environment, so 40 to 45% humidity, thanks to my dehumidifier and my heat pump as well, which heats and cools my garage all year long. And the temperature I work in is 68 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius. The typical range you want to be in is anywhere from 15 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius. So that's probably somewhere around 55 to 75 Fahrenheit, something like that. What do you get? You can either get the matte light version, so it's just the 50 ml bottle alone. I'll leave links, by the way, to all the products and equipment in the description under the video for you guys to check them out, like I do in all my videos. Or you can get this full kit. So what's inside the box? First of all, well, you get the 50 ml bottle of the matte Evo coating, which lasts up to 2 years. You're going to get the Geon Cure Matte. So this basically is a silica spray sealant made for matte finishes. Gives you up to 6 weeks of protection. It's basically a booster or a maintenance product that you're going to use for regular washes on your vehicle. You can apply it on dry or wet as a drying aid, so it works well. You get that little mini version. You get an applicator pad, so it's dual-sided. On one side there's this microfiber, and on the other side there's this micro suede. This is the side that I like to use for applying the product. You get the instructions. I highly recommend that you follow them, of course, and you even get a maintenance guide. So it's well done, well packaged as usual. They have great branding. You get a bunch of stickers, including the Geonized sticker right here. How do you apply this? Very, very simple once again. So the difference with this one, you are going to be loading a lot more on your pad. Be very, very deliberate in the way you're applying your things on the pad. So be very generous, apply generously, and also shake the product before you use it. Shake the bottle itself. So apply a lot on the pad. And then work, if you're not used to it, if it's the first time, work in 2x2 sections. But like me, I worked half the hood or a full door panel at a time because I'm in a controlled environment. So what you're going to do is apply on the hood, whichever direction you like. It doesn't really matter. What I do is still cross hatch, so up and down and left to right. The most important thing is to ensure proper and even coverage, like for any ceramic coating. And this one is very, very quick to when it's time to remove. So you only let it on the surface 10 to 30 seconds. So basically when you're done applying, it's time to start leveling. And for the job, I'm using 2 towels. So the first towel to level is the Geon Bald Wipe. So it's this one here. It's a lower nap microfiber towel. For the entire job, by the way, I used 2 of these. You fold them in 4, so you get 8 sections to work with, times 2 towels. So that's a lot of sections. You want to work clean. And then the second towel to buff off, because the first one is for leveling the coating. The second one is going to be Geon Soft Wipe. So this is a plusher, thicker towel to make sure I pick up any leftover residue and to be very gentle on the surface. So this is the second towel. So you wipe with the first one, and then you have the second towel to come in and just make that smooth, awesome looking finish. And if we look at the hood now, by the way, hopefully you can see on camera, I did one half with the Geon Matte Evo coating, and the other half currently is unprotected, so you can see the difference. So on the left side, it's richer, it's darker, and you can see that line where I stopped the coating application. Hopefully it translates well on camera, but in person, it's actually very visible. So you're gonna see how deeper, how richer that jetting effect that you look at. So that darkening, let's say, of the paint, it really, really looks good. And it does boost the appearance a lot. People love the way these matte coatings look on matte paints finishes. And so, yeah, there is a visual difference. Now for vertical panels, it's the same thing. With these products, you can run a first line across the panel, and then when you're moving your microfiber applicator up and down and left to right, you're picking up more of that product to distribute it evenly. But be very, very careful when you're working. Apply yourself, take your time, work panel by panel, section by section, do it once, do it right. You only need 1 coat of this, by the way. And so, yeah, you apply the entire panel, then 10 to 30 seconds max on the surface. You're starting to level with the first towel. Then you come in with the second clean and dry microfiber towel, and you're buffing that off. Inspect your work afterwards. Either use an inspection light, or if you're working outside, you should be able to see. But yeah, take your eyes and observe your work. Make sure you leveled and removed the coating properly. And so when you're done the entire vehicle, that's pretty much it. It was very, very easy to apply, very easy to level, very user-friendly. So their entire Evo line so far, I'm very pleased with. You're getting 1 to 2 years of real-world protection. Of course, we're going to follow this in real time because this is a brand new product. So I'll be reporting back to you guys, as I always do, hopefully with future updates on the performance. What they require with the Evo line, especially the matte one, is only 12 hours of curing this time. So 1 layer, 12 hours of curing. That means no exposure to water or rain for those 12 hours, and then you're good to drive in the elements. Now, to be on the safe side, especially this is a customer's vehicle, I recommend that you keep the car indoors for at least 24 hours, or if you were working outside, pick a day where there's not going to be any rain for those 24 hours, just to be on that safe side. Also, do not wash the car for the first 14 days after the coating application, because even if you can drive outside in the rain in the elements after the first initial curing time of 12 to 24 hours, there's still curing that continues over those 2 weeks. So you don't want to use harsh chemicals. So do not, even a pH neutral soap, that's even too much. You don't want to use any surfactants. So do not wash your car for the first 2 weeks. Another thing I recommend after the first 24 hours, if you kept it indoors, or after the first 12 hours, if you kept it indoors before you go out in the elements, apply 1 layer of Cure Matte from Geon. This is their silica spray sealant. You're spraying directly onto the paint, and then you use a microfiber towel to buff off, and that's it. It's going to give kind of like a windbreaker jacket, right, to take the brunt of the elements while the coating underneath is still curing. We always do that. This is a topper, so the majority of coatings, you always have that top coat. So this one is it, and it works super well. You can also use it on wet paint. So for future maintenance washes regularly, because this lasts about 6 weeks, but I recommend every 3 to 4 weeks perhaps. perhaps when you're done your wash routine, use this. So you can either use it on wet, you spray on, and then you dry with your microfiber towel. It acts as a drying aid. Or once you fully dried the vehicle, apply this on dry paint if you want a bit more performance and durability out of it, and then you buff off, and that's it. You topped off your protection, and that's the best way to maintain it. They make different sizes, by the way, so they have the bigger bottle here. This is a 400 ml bottle, or 13.5 ounces of the Geon Cure Matte. Now, what did we do to the wheels before we see the end results, right? You're gonna see it looks stunning. So for the wheels, because they're satin finish or that matte appearance as well, what we want is something to protect them against, well, brake dust, to make them easier to clean during maintenance washes, protect them against the elements and that kind of stuff. So Dr. Beasley's, they have their matte wheel seal. This is going to be potentially a few weeks or a few washes, so not the biggest durability, but it's the ease of use. They say that it prevents etching, pitting, and clear coat erosion without leaving behind a shine. So it's for matte painted and power coated wheels. So you're done cleaning your wheels, you dried them off, you're going to spray this on the surface. It is very simple to use, and you're going to let it dry on the surface for 5 to 10 minutes. I like their recommendation of roughly 7 minutes. So you basically just let it on the surface. It's going to be wet, right? You spray it on, let it 5 to 10 minutes, and then you come with a microfiber towel and you simply dry the wheel, buff off, and that's it. It was very easy. It gives you that matte appearance, but that satin feel as well, that nice detailed touch that I really, really like. And to make the wheel pop even more, well, you apply a glossy, well, not too glossy, we love semi-gloss, let's say, tire dressing. In this case, I used the luxury microfiber tire coating because I wanted more durability for the customer out of it. So you have to prep the tire properly, hence why we used CarPro Retire at the beginning, the heavy tire degreaser, to make sure we remove any previous tire dressing. And you want that tire coating to bond on the surface. And from then on, well, it's just a question of maintenance. Before we talk about maintenance, let's look at the end results. Hopefully you can tell on camera, guys. I think it came out looking stunning. So from the roof all the way to the wheels, we covered pretty much all the matte finishes on the surface. So just look at that sheen. So it is that matte appearance, but it has that richer, just beautiful. It's dull, but it has that sheen look, that nice matte detailed appearance. I don't know how to put it in words, but you guys let me know in the description. What do you guys think? It looks pretty cool, doesn't it? And you can tell with just the gloss black window trim, the gloss black mirrors, and the way the gloss black on the front bumper comes, and of course the glossy tire dressing or the tire coating that we put on, it makes the paint pop even more, I think. So it's a nice contrast between matte and glossy. The wheels came out looking beautiful. There were tons of brake dust because of course these are high performance brakes, but yeah, once you're done cleaning them, if you do a good job, they should look good for long, but man, does this look good. So this is the Batmobile for that owner. I'm sure he's going to be stunned. So I'm keeping it 24 hours and in the garage, and then he's going to pick it up, and he's probably going to have the smile of a lifetime because it came out again looking absolutely stunning. The interior of this car too is wow. Mercedes does some fantastic interiors, and this is no exception. That full screen, that new style that they have now on their vehicles with the TFT infotainment display that wraps around and extends halfway through the front dash there, and just the air vents, those rounded vents, the lighting there at night, the interior ambient lighting is gorgeous. All right, guys, so the owner is here to collect the vehicle and to see the final results. I know you guys often ask to see the viewers' reactions, so he kindly agreed to let himself be filmed. So let's see the reaction. Nima, come on in and have a look. So I guess that's a good thing if you're laughing, eh?
Yeah.
I told you it would look a lot better than you.
Yeah,
and and this is the richer appearance. So we're gonna have a tour. Obviously, I'm gonna give you the tips and tricks on the maintenance. But have a look, man. Touch the paint. It feels different compared to a normal clear coat. This is matte, but it should feel super satin, and obviously
it doesn't feel matte. It feels like
something different, eh?
Paint almost, yeah, that's crazy.
So let my viewers know, did it look this good when you collected it at Mercedes?
No,
no,
not
eh?
at all. That's crazy.
Thanks for being a part of the video.
Let's open the door first.
Everything.
Oh, wow.
Even the lines on the carpets.
Yeah, that's
just those touches. So I'm going to give you a tour. But yeah, glad to see you're smiling, man. So what do we do for maintenance? Well, it's actually pretty simple. Then I'm going to give you some do's and don'ts as a reminder of what do you do for matte paint, right? But for maintenance, first of all, use products that are free of any waxes, free of any silicones, free of any gloss enhancers. So try to use matte specific products if you can. So for the shampoo, Dr. Beasley's matte body wash. So this one here, it smells awesome, by the way. A few capfuls per gallon, so 2 capfuls per gallon of water. Be generous with it, follow the instructions. Or you can use CarPro Reset or something like Geon Bathe once again. So this one here, no gloss enhancers, just a pure shampoo. So if you have cars that are clear coated and matte as well, and you want something that can do both, Geon Bathe, fantastic shampoo. So for your matte wheels, of course, we said to protect them every now and then, every few washes, or when do they see this for best results? Clean wheels, every few washes. So they don't give a durability claim on this, but every 2 or 3 washes, I guess, just replenish your protection. You're going to see it's going to make the wheels a lot easier to clean during your maintenance washes. That's why we protect the surfaces, right? Not only to protect against the elements, the UV rays, and give them a nicer appearance, but also to make the surfaces easier to wash during your maintenance washes. For the paintwork, every, let's say 3 to 4 weeks, although they claim up to 6 weeks of durability, still you want to make sure that you top off the protection before that. Use something like Geon Cure Matte on the surface. And when you're drying your paint, if you want to use a drying aid, obviously the majority of them are quick detail type sprays. They have some gloss enhancers, so you don't want that. What you want is something like this. So this is the Matte Paint Hero. It's basically a ceramic drying lubricant or a drying aid that is safe for matte paints, again by Dr. Beasley. Don't worry, Dr. Beasley's, I'm going to leave all the links in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. So this is basically acts as a buffer or as a lubricant between your microfiber towel and your paintwork. That way it's going to glide a lot easier on the surface and you're not going to scratch or mar the surface. You protected the wheels, and of course to clean the wheels, well, you always have the matte wheel cleanser if you want, or for those of you who just use shampoos, you can use the matte body wash or Geon Bathe, whatever you guys use to wash the paintwork. You can also wash the wheels and tires as long as you use a separate bucket. Do not cross-contaminate your wheels and tires stuff with the paintwork, right? Always do that separately. That's why I use the 3 bucket method. So 2 buckets for the paint, 1 to rinse and 1 with the wash solution. And the 3rd bucket is my wheel bucket because I like to keep things separate, but whatever works for you guys as long as you're careful with what you're doing. The do's and don'ts. So the do's. Hand wash your matte painted finish regularly, especially matte cars. You don't want any contamination. You don't want to leave any bird droppings on there for a long while. Any potential water spotting, you want to clean that quickly. You don't want any etching through the clear coat because you will not be able to polish it, right? We do not polish matte surfaces because you're going to make them glossy. Use products that are appropriate for matte finishes, as I spoke about and presented in this video. Apply matte products for protection as well. So not only to wash the surfaces, but you got to protect them. Again, as we mentioned, to not only protect them, but to make them easier to wash during maintenance washes. Remove contamination, again, like those bird droppings, the water spots. Use a drying lubricant when you're drying the surface. So be very, very careful when you're doing stuff, but do it regularly. So maintenance is going to be a little more than your traditional glossy clear coated car. Anyways, I wash my car twice weekly, and I know if you watch my videos, we're all car detailing nuts, enthusiasts, professionals, you name it. We're here for the passion of detailing, and I'm sure you guys clean your cars more than once every 3 or 4 months, right? The do nots. So do not use any waxes, any silicones, or any gloss enhancers or products that contain those on the surface. Do not use any polishes. You're not going to machine polish or hand polish a matte surface. Use shampoos that do not contain, again, any waxes, any silicones, or gloss enhancers. Do not use a clay bar. I read that the guys from Dr. Beasley's, they did a test on a matte surface with a clay bar, and it doesn't go that well because it actually needs to glide not only with the lubricant, but on the slicker surface from a traditional glossy clear coat. So because the matte has that more satin or grabby feel, the clay bars don't work as well, don't work as good anyhow. And if you do get any heavy damage, big scratches, deep gouges, that kind of thing, or you're into an accident, unfortunately, that means you're going to have to see a paint specialist, a body shop that is specialized with matte paint finishes. It requires special tools, special equipment, special paints, and knowledge to do it properly. So this is not something you can tinker with at home. And that's pretty much it. So you saw how simple this was. So from the washing to the decontamination to the protection with the Geon Matte Evo, the entire thing looks absolutely stunning. I hope you enjoyed this video. By the way, smash the thumbs up button to show me your support. If you're new to the channel and you haven't done so yet, click that subscribe button so that's where you'll subscribe to my channel and never miss my future videos. Guys, what future ideas do you want me to do in videos? Let me know. Drop a comment in the comment section under this video. And in the meantime, well, thanks for being there. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean, and I'll see you on the next one.